Melissa, hey Aunt, what's happening? No, I don't have a job. I don't want a job. Hey Beth. Hey Hannah. YouTube's my hobby. Hey Giselle. Hey Twick. I didn't feel that great this morning. I got a little done, not a lot. Mainly still photography. Hey Lisa. Go on, Deidre. Go on, hon. Good girl, hon. Hey Chad. Yeah, you got it, Chad. Old bullshit job. Who needs it? Hey Maxic, what's happening? Had a good lunch today. Oh, thanks, Matt. These are these long-ass trains coming out of Marathon Refinery. Speedway gas outfit. Hey, Jose. That's right. Hey, Jarrett. Yeah, Daisy's a great dog. No problem at all. Yeah, I like certain things, you know. I get the same thing all the time. Hey, Patricia. Love Mexican food, Arabic food. Just thinking that today, man, because I'm Scottish and Irish, and I don't like any of the food. I'll tell you, you guys ever get around Detroit, if you haven't been here, go to that Mia Pueblo. I bet there were 500 people eating lunch here today. I'm not kidding you. Parking lot was filled. 20% Hispanic, so you know it's good. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Just the Truth. Got to get over there and check out Los Angeles. Sometimes it doesn't. Oh, that's a damn telemarketer out of Chicago. Getting a little warm here. Let's find the end of this goddamn thing. Now, I'll show you guys. This is kind of one of my favorite spots. Come on, open sesame. That idiot's pissed that the train took so long. So this is back under the Rouge Bridge. They used to dump a ton of stolen cars out here. Now that all the bridges are open, Dix, Fort, West Jefferson, I don't see it happening as much anymore. Oh yeah, you get all sorts of crazy drivers down here. When you're back driving around here too, a lot of people don't stop for lights and stop signs. I'm not kidding you. It isn't going to be affected by the bridge. So it goes over the Rouge River. Yeah, I'm from Flat Rock originally. And this is the... And did a hell of a job. Now replant back here. But there used to be just all sorts of weird shit getting dumped off back here. They're not dumping back here as much as they used to either. The city was cracking down on it for a while. So here's the Rouge Bridge. Totally redone. You know, I met a guy, and he was asking me, he watches my videos, and he asked me if there were any places that I thought were unsafe, and I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, there are. And it's right here. There's an old park here, right here. Now, mind you, this is the main infrastructure going into Detroit. Right there. Huge project, brand new, just got done. And the whole thing is totally open all the time. I mean, they got this little bullshit lock here, but even this shouldn't be open. It's just nuts. I see these security guys around all the time, and sitting by the river not doing shit, and they got this thing wide open. There's an older lady that lives in this house. I've seen her out a few times. She must still work. I'd love to talk to her someday. She keeps that house nice. Oh, there she's home today. Love to talk to her. See, that's a double track here. So I don't know if I'm gonna wanna wait this one out. Sometimes these trains are here forever. Seems like forever. If they were here forever, they'd never move, right? Kind of an interesting area back here, though. That's Foreman Park, which was a park that the city established years ago. It just kind of went by the wayside. You know, I used to think that one thing I always remark about these older neighborhoods and areas is the mature trees. I don't care how much money you got, you're not going to match mature trees in an old neighborhood. But if you look back here, now I went back here and metal detected. It's just too much junk around, digging up junk. But you see those trees out there? Those beautiful trees? Guy was telling me he worked at this concrete company, and they planted those about 40 years ago. Which, probably true. Oh yeah, Loya, you should come to Detroit. And you know, a lot of dumping goes on back here. These people have even painted their own signs. You may think Delray is a dump, but many of us call it home. That's right, it's true, it's their home. I think the same thing with graffiti. If I lived down here, I'd be watching for these people, though it's really calmed down a lot. Graffiti. If I lived in a neighborhood and I saw somebody paint my neighborhood up, I'd take a baseball bat to them. I'd wear a damn clown mask or something, coming up and painting up the sides of my house while I'm in there trying to sleep. Bullshit. And there's a difference between just gang graffiti and white suburban punk kid graffiti. Looks totally different. See, now there's a couple old houses down here. I think this area is cool looking though. See, look at these. There was an arsonist around here for a long time, and he died here about a year ago from an overdose. Sure as shit, the fire stopped. I'm not saying rest in peace to him. Good riddance, jackass. These people are getting ready for Halloween. But I don't know, I just think this is a neat area. It's not neat if you got to get to work though, and these trains are sitting here for a 45 minutes. See, when you live in an area like this, kind of impoverished, nobody gives a shit. You can call council all day long, call the police. These railroads realize that they don't need to respond to the complaints of people that don't have much money. So you're going to wait for that train for as long as the railroad feels like sitting there. Now you do it in a suburb where you get up around more middle class, upper middle class. Of course, there's no train tracks that go through rich neighborhoods. And they'll make sure that damn train gets through there in a certain amount of time, or you're just going to get a big ass ticket broke off in it. In my little town, Flat Rock, we had that happen one time. And it's because the damn trains were making the kids late for school, so those big tickets sure got them to think a different way. It's a shame you got to resort to those tactics just to try and get to work or school on time. Here's this damn man, my allergies are still kicking my ass. So kind of a cool area, I think it is. I mean, a lot of people think, what the hell are you doing back here? But I really like it. Believe it or not, so much better. You can see all the kind of vegetation. It floods here a lot. get a big rain. There's no place for the water to go. The drains get backed up pretty quickly. So you get a couple bullshit taggers coming back here at night, but nothing significant. We got a burned out house here. No, there's no homeless or anything around here because this is too far away from any stores or anything. So you got that house is vacant. That one's burned out right there. You know, I mentioned before, you live in a neighborhood with a burned out. It's like those two are scheduled for demolition, so maybe looks like they might have got to somebody to actually do something back here. It's really kind of a cool area, though. You hear a pin drop at night. You got the normal din you'd hear from the expressway. But actually it sounds kind of cool. You know, I've totally changed my view, and I've lived out in the middle of the country, and honest to God, if I had my druthers, I'd live right next to an expressway. There's something about watching that traffic and hearing the cars go by. You'd think it'd be, I'm talking about an expressway, not an intersection. You'd think it'd be terrible, but it's actually kind of cool, I think. Like the noise, everything. Comes a train. Oh, thanks, Dan. Yeah, the image quality on a phone, that's the downside of a live. That's why I don't want to do live interviews with people I haven't talked to before, because I don't want to lose an interview towards from a shitty cell signal. So, you know, I'm coming up to Ford Street here. I don't know how much you guys know about Woodmere Cemetery. It's like a famous cemetery. Yeah, I'm in Southwest Detroit. Famous cemetery. Really beautiful in there. I drive through there, but it's long, and most people think it sucks. Ham Palace. That's Woodmere right there. So, you know, this area they've really cleaned up a lot right here. These churches have been able to skip the wrecking ball. Although they did get a couple others. The Hispanic Baptist Church. That guy right there, Bill's Fix-It Shop. He's been there for a million years, locksmith. I give him a write-up in the newspaper every few years about standing the test of time. They've cleaned up under these underpasses. You know, this whole area is really much better looking than it used to be. Now, one thing that the Southwestern High School, which, look it up, Google it. Southwestern High School was really a state-of-the-art high school at one time. And it's not that old. But this damn Saki International Automotive Company, they were supposed to fix the facade, the front, and, you know, maintain the lawn. It looks like shit. They haven't done a damn thing since I've been here, except build this mega facility in back of the school, which I'll show you up here. This is where all the produce comes into Detroit. It's the longest two-way retail facility in the country. Longest two-way continuous hallway for retail in the country. You can come in here. You gotta get here before 10 in the morning. This is where all the fruit and stuff comes into Detroit and then gets shipped out. This is this Mott's Hamburger. You know, these places get a cult following. If you're in a bad neighborhood and you survive, you get a cult following like Mott's. People talk about how they love those hamburgers. Let me say that's the lowest grade hamburger you can buy. If McDonald's served those, they'd be out of business. But it's that cult following. Bad neighborhood, hamburgers must be good. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Here's this Southwestern High School, which they built a mega factory in the back. They're supposed to redo this front facade. They haven't done anything. Looks like shit. I mean, that's just one of the many deals that the residents get screwed on in Detroit. I'm not kidding you. I'll cut down here in Waterman so you can see this mega facility. See, now that's their place right there. That really nice building. You see, they don't mind cutting their grass though, do they? Gated front, manicured lawn, flowers. And look at this shit dump that they own now. Don't do anything to it. That's because they haven't had to. Now this back here, this is this big facility they put in the back, which gave them the right to build this big commercial deal, all these jobs, blah blah blah. So this is what they did. But as far as honoring their part of the front part of the building, they don't even want to cut the grass. Saki Automotive. That's their outfit right there too. It's a huge company. See, look at the high school. I mean, they're not even willing to fix the front part of the building. They didn't even need to do anything with the back. But look at this facility. Just take a good look at their lawn. Bunch of shit bags. Right here. Look at, they got somebody in a voice changing the light bulbs. Pisses me off. Yeah, look at their building right here. Need to write them a letter and tell them to finish the agreement they agreed to. Fix that front of that school. That was the whole point of them coming in here. You know, jobs and all that bullshit, which they did create a lot of jobs, but they didn't fix the blight, which was part of the deal. And that's bullshit. I think it's bullshit. See, that's one nice thing about YouTube. You guys probably wouldn't even know about this. Somebody didn't tell you. You'd be buying their stuff thinking about what a great place it is. And they have done a lot of good. I'm just saying, live up to what you signed up for. This is the never-ending construction, 4th Street. All these buildings, there's the famous Campbell building right there. I see somebody cleaning out this eye care. That's where I got Tassie's interviews. Right in front of there. I see a lot of that going on around here. Might see Maddie out here walking around. Gerald. That's the only Chase Bank I've ever been in where they buzz you in and they buzz you out. They're not letting your ass get out of there if you cause some problems. 1.5 inch plexiglass through the whole place. They call this a truck stop. I wouldn't call it that. I think it's an overgrown shell station. That Detroit Kitchen right there has excellent food. You know, I always forget to go there, but if you look up their ratings, top notch. Of course, there's the Ambassador Bridge. You guys probably know. My dad worked on the Ambassador Bridge. And then this is Clark and West Fort. See, this is where a lot of these international... Nichols Marine, which is Nichols Dock, that's kind of the port for Chicago, which is really kind of small considering the size of the city. I mean, they've got some killer waterfront here, but this is where all the international ships come in and unload their imported steel. You'll see a lot of it laying around here. It's mostly Polish steel getting sent through European countries like Denmark. They come across the North Sea in the winter, in the late fall. That's probably first of all, it's dangerous. Look up storms in the North Sea in ships. These guys have to have the biggest balls in the world. I wouldn't get on that goddamn thing for $1 million a day. I mean, they sail across the North Sea to drop this stuff off here. See, now that's a self-unloader right there. You can see the cranes where they can unload themselves, but they're also using the cranes at the facility. See, this is all imported steel right here, rolled wire. And that's it's pretty interesting, really. See all those lifts they got on there? This is the old where the Boblo boat used to park down here, the old Detroit Harbor Terminal. I can't figure out why they haven't done something with this yet. I mean, it's take a damn nuclear bomb to level that damn thing. Seems like you could rehab it, and it's a choice piece of property. Now around here, this big old warehouse thing, you know, I noticed around here lately a lot of places are getting cleaned out that just sat vacant for years. So I don't know whether they're buying them and fixing them. This looks like they had a little fire, something caught fire there. So I don't know what the hell they're doing in this place. But here's some cars here, there's people in there doing something. These buildings are already about ready to fall over. I see that was a Great Lakes Water Management, that little transit. So maybe it's something to do with the state. Let's see here now. So you got a hell of a view down here on the tracks. I take these photographs of this all the time. That's the Renaissance Center right at the end of the tracks. It's a killer view, Ambassador Bridge. See all these empty lots? Now this will all eventually be filled up with stuff associated to the bridge, the new Gordie Howe International Bridge. If you guys stick around for a while, are you guys interested like in the Mexican, Hispanic areas? I can cut through there. And then I can take you down the Michigan Avenue stroll, they call it. That's when you drive down Michigan Avenue. That's where I've been getting a lot of my interviews. If you look on Google Maps, for some reason, I mean, when I'm watching a video, I could give two shits where it's at. But it seems to interest a lot of people, and they get irritated that I don't tell them what street I'm on. That's because I don't really care, but I'll try and do it. So I'm on West Fort now, and I'm going to be cutting across Clark. And I'll be going up through the Hispanic area. Great restaurants. I was just on the very west end when I ate at Mia Pueblo. This BP station, this guy's building a new Sunoco across the street. Something's not totally adding up there though, because they're not really doing shit on that building. Something's not right. I asked him when it was going to be done, and he told me when they finished it. How's that an answer for an answer? This is Clark Park, kind of a famous park that's really has a lot of historical interest behind it. It's maintained, like 1 billion kids played here growing up. They've kept Clark Park nice. I've said this all along, it sounds racist. I'm gonna say it anyway. It's the Hispanics, mainly the Mexicans, that kept this area nice. That ain't no shit. In the toughest times, the worst times possible, they kept these places decent. Kept up the houses, tried to protect the park. This is on a skeleton crew police department. I give these people an A+. So see Clark Park right there? Now it's really, of course, had a really upsurge in interest now that Detroit's getting a little better. This is actually, that's a Google Earth truck photograph and stuff. You know, I think those guys work for the damn CIA, to tell you the truth. What better cover could you have? You know, if the FBI sitting out in front of your house with the CIA, you get suspicious. When Google Earth goes by there, it's like, oh, they're just mapping the street. I bet those guys got a portfolio of digital video that'd blow your mind. Stock photos, too. So here, this is Verner Highway. I'm going to cut through here and go north, because I'm going to do the Michigan Avenue stroll. It's from Livernois going west to Wyoming. It's just littered with everything you can imagine. Crime, working girls, blind pigs, drugs, car theft rings, murder for hire, and in between all those places are party stores. So these, see these, this is like all like, you know, the city's attempt at some kind of like gentrification. Seems to be working all right though. These were never really bad areas. I mean, you know, you see this house and you think, what the hell are you talking about? Not a bad area. Yeah, they do have a couple of abandoned buildings, but these are all slowly going away. Now, I want to mention something up here. As I come up here, we're going to be going around a kind of a sharp turn. There was a Detroit cop that was killed there a year or two ago. They said he wasn't on surveillance, he wasn't chasing anybody, and it looked like he hit this corner, you know, doing about 85 miles an hour. It's a super mystery. It's not figured out, but I see they have a little memorial. Got a couple lines in the paper, but just weird. I mean, what's a cop out? And you'll see where, you know, this is a 35 mile an hour area. And, you know, if you were from here, you'd know about this turn, which isn't that big of a deal. I don't get it. So this is like kind of littered with, you know, trucking companies, industry, that kind of thing. Not much going on here. You can drive through. I use Clark to cut through a lot between 4th Street and Michigan Avenue because it saves a lot of bullshit. So you look straight ahead of me and you'll see a little cross, a little memorial. That's where he clobbered his cop car, right at that brick abutment with the yellow rail. Right there. It's kind of strange. So this is Michigan Avenue. Now I'm not to Livernois yet. All these trucking companies come back here. You know, it's not bad for a trucking company, but it's still a pain in the ass to get on a major expressway from right here. So I'm turning onto Michigan Avenue now, going west. Now luckily, it's kind of cloudy right now, overcast, so you'll be able to see really well. There's not that glare that you get as the sun's crossing over Michigan Avenue midday. So this is Michigan Avenue, a lot of old burned out buildings. This end they haven't done much with. Now behind me to the east, that's Corktown, where they're getting crazy money now for houses. It's all gentrified, it's all designer dogs, wives with fake tits, new sports cars, alarm systems, and $25 lunches. Hey Simple Life, how you doing? Of course you got these party stores and stuff like that around here. A lot of old bars. You'll see like over there that the bars on the window, that old shoe store, appliance store. I see lights on in there. I thought it was closed. They came up with this new these bike paths a few years ago, which seems to be working. I think you'd have to have rocks in your head to ride a bike up and down here. I mean, you'll see more crazy drivers in a half hour than you were anywhere. So here we're going west. There's a motorcycle repair place. That place right there, this place coming up on the right, it's an old building. The bottom is used for, I guess it's appliance repair or something. There's always a bunch of washers and dryers and stuff. Now we're getting into another pretty heavy Hispanic area. And this will be all the way to Wyoming until you hit Dearborn. Then it turns pretty much Arabic. Then you get over on farther west, the whiter it gets, to be honest with you. Not that that's a problem. I lived in Dearborn. I loved it. I still stay in Dearborn when I'm down here. So this is Livernois right here. This is what would be considered the Michigan stroll. Is right this section right here. A lot of party stores. They're really cleaning these areas up. I've explained to you before this Operation Greenlight. You can Google it. See these lights blinking, these lights? Those are monitored surveillance systems, which are supposedly give customers a feeling of being safe, because sometimes it can take the police a long time to show up here, where if they know it's being monitored, they'll do it. And you see it in all like the legit restaurants, like McDonald's up here. I mean, at nighttime it's really noticeable. CVS, Church's Chicken. I know some people, they won't go to a place where there's not a green light. There's topless bars up and down here, black and white. You know, strictly, you know, all black girls or all white girls. Whatever suits your taste. I noticed a lot of motorcycle club guys get buried from this funeral director. Maybe he's cutting them a good deal. So it's very likely you'll see some of the women that I've interviewed driving right up and down here. Right there's a needle exchange. They had a needle exchange this morning, but I didn't get up in time. They come in and take all the old needles from the heroin addicts and give them new clean ones. This is like a mattress company with bars on the windows. They're always running specials. I got an idea it was probably something before a mattress company and the bars were already there. Then you got, it's hard for me to answer questions now because I gotta like really pay attention here. There's the CAS bar, C-A-S. If you look that up, they nailed them for some international, not international, but I guess it had international ties, they thought. It's a huge article on a big shoplifting theft ring. I mean, all I can tell you is what I read in the paper. Maybe they're innocent, but you can Google that. That's the CAS bar, C-A-S. So let's see, we come down here. I ran into Lacey last night and did another interview with her. See, if you look on the map here, you'll see as we get further west, here's Rebecca's place right up here. As we head west, Michigan Avenue converges with I-94. So by the time you get here, there's very little street left to the north. That's where all the, you know, cars get dumped, and, you know, Becky was living back there. If you look down here, there's hardly any street left. It butts up right against to the expressway. So you'd still be in pretty good shape here if you were looking for some nightlife. But as I come up to a topless bar up here, Wyoming, that's about it for the Michigan stroll. This topless bar doesn't open till 4. Now when I double back here and I'll head back east, you'll see a lot of you would think that a lot of the working women would hang out around these areas, but they really don't for some reason. Further east they do. As I turn right here on Wyoming, you'll see what I mean about how close it is. What's that, Laura? I'm stopped so I can read these questions a little better. I'll tell you, I don't know what this guy paid for this sign, but it's worth every penny. It looks cool as hell at nighttime, all lit up. It's got these like sequins. Brothers before? What are you talking about? Yeah, Penny was murdered. Halfway to Dearborn? Nah, this would be the very tip of east side of Dearborn. Right up there, about 200 yards. See, now here's the expressway right here. So there's essentially nothing. You'll see the Detroit city limit sign there. Now right up here, as you cut down McGraw, which is into Ford Road. Now this is Trapper John, probably. Or Scrapper John. He sits up around here a lot. Somebody said something about brothers. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, look, if I know areas and there's a lot of Hispanics, mostly white or Arabic or black, I'm going to tell you. I mean, that's what's there. Don't blame me. Yeah, I would do an interview whenever I can. As I've said before, it's not as easy as you think. I get them when I can, but it's not like, you know, I was here a week last time, and those were all the interviews I got, and that was like doing this all day long. Weir Street's a little weird street you can cut down. You see panhandlers down there a lot. What I always do is just go ahead to Wyoming like I just did, and then I cut right. I'll pull over up here in a little bit so I can answer your questions. Of course, liquor stores everywhere. Lottery. I just bought a book. I haven't started it yet. It's called Drugging the Poor. And it's about how alcohol and tobacco companies target the poor with their advertising. And you know, you got a lifelong customer if you get them in their teens. I mean, there's an argument. At least it's logical. So I always turn right here on Addison. Because I got a light and it's a lot less bullshit. And I can turn left without taking an hour and a half and taking my life into my own hands. So there's always a couple panhandlers there. I'll pull over up here. That's I-94. So just give me 5 minutes, I'll pull over up here and answer your questions. So you see a lot of old buildings here. I mean, I think this is Detroit's Plan B. This place never stops, man. You come down here at 4 in the morning, it's busy. Wyoming Street, not Wyoming the state. I've been thinking about heading out to Wyoming this week, actually. I haven't been out to South Dakota in a long time. A lot of abandoned farms, and I'd like to get out there and interview some people, find out what's going on. So this is, so, you know, there's probably, this is Rebecca's old stomping grounds right here. There's a parking lot. I pull over up here. So now I'm going east on Michigan Avenue. This is Lanyo. You'll find a lot of Sunoco gas stations in areas like this. I'm not sure why. You know, where you won't see like Shell and Marathon. I'm not sure the reason why. There's an antique store down here. They call themselves antique stores, but a lot of these places have been basically clearinghouses for scrappers. Detroit's pretty much been picked through, though. It's been going on for 25 years, all the leaded windows, stained glass windows. I was really into that at one time. There's another antique store up here. The building's vacant. Anyway, this guy was always super rude to people, and finally somebody went in there and bashed his head in one night. Left his wallet in his pants. So he must have pissed off the wrong guy right there, that antique store on the corner. So I'm going to pull over in this parking lot up here. That's the CVS and the McDonald's that Rebecca talked about. They don't treat her very nice in. There's a guy sits up here trying to sell cell phone service. He should be showing up. It's Friday. You really see this area come alive through the weekend. Alright, so now I can answer your questions. Yeah, I'm not big on Tailway. I mean, honestly, I like eating good food, what I consider good. And they're just really cheap hamburgers. I think they're terrible. I mean, they're open all the time. They got a cult following. I mean, that's a place that, because of its reputation, can get away with selling whatever. No, I don't think they looked, Pamela. I think the winters have been milder. That's about it. And the water levels are high. I mean, if that's definitely because of, global weather changes. That OD that happened during your interview was set up? No, I don't think it was. Set up in what way? I don't even know those people. I had nothing to do with them. Yeah, I know where Taos is. I go over there all the time. Actually, the Taos Point State Park, that whole beach has been eroded away by the Oh, that's where you live? Yeah, I go over there. Oh, man, it's a shame. No, I live in West Branch. I live about 185 miles north. Oh, yeah, there's a ton of stuff in Delray. If you Google the Gordie Howe International Bridge, the prospectus, it's all spelled out on there. What area it's going to take up, what's going to be included, the shops, duty-free plazas, gas stations, that kind of thing, customs. Really a nice facility. Yeah, no, set up, I don't even know those guys. It's so stupid to think that. I don't care if it wouldn't help me one bit whether somebody OD'd or not. Don't even try what, Pamela? Yeah, Shay, yep, I've emailed with him before. Maddie, I just interviewed yesterday. Yeah, I'm worried about her. At least me, when you get down here and you do this stuff, it just kind of like, everything is like the same. There's no real highs or lows, or you just go crazy. Yeah, I have thought about documentary, yeah, but I like doing this stuff better. No, I don't think it had anything to do with the interview with Rebecca and people ODing, no. Yeah, a good question on Detroit. I think more people are moving maybe to Detroit suburbs, but you're not getting that many people moving into Detroit. That's a damn lie. You got a couple spots like Midtown and Corktown, but even then it's like, chump change. It's like nothing as far as the population. Detroit's got a big problem with residents. They don't have enough of them. If anything, people are still leaving. They're trying to leave. Oh yeah, Detroit was awesome. Just a great place. Hey, Jeff. Braised hamburger, huh? I guess they're all right. I think they got a donkey on the roof or something over there. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. You got to be careful where you move to. Hey, Truckmaster. It's kind of cold this morning. I think it got down to 50 last night. Hey, baby. No, Wawa, nope. Flip, yep. I know about them. I don't really watch too many other people's channels anymore. I mean, by the time I get doing these and getting out doing this, not that much time. You know, I was just trying to figure out the other day why I don't read as much as I used to. It's because I'm dicking around YouTube. Oh, congratulations, Rum. Yeah, they sleep outside in the winter. That's no shit. Abandoned houses. I've witnessed it. Just get under a bunch of blankets. St. Joseph's from Detroit. I'd tell you, I'd take you about 4.5 hours to get there. That's where Whirlpool's located. It's over on the west side of Michigan. Yeah, I thought about doing it. Yeah, not as much as I was. 95, forget that. Yeah, you know, drugs warm you up, and not only that, I mean, it's nothing for these people to be up a week. It's not like you or me, you know, living a life on a typical schedule and then trying to sleep in a house without heat. I mean, they call it sleep, but it's more like collapsing. Yeah, it's sad about Kronk. I used to go down there and play basketball. Kronk is torn down now. It's not just closed. How far to the UP? Not far at all. About 140 miles. Oh, thanks, Emily. Jeff, how many hours to where? To the UP or to St. Joe? Yeah, it's about 6 hours to the UP from here. Yeah, probably hallucinating, yep. Probably true. Yeah, about 6 hours, yep. I get up there. Beautiful up there now. No, never did. I'm due, though, I'll tell you that. I've been in enough places where I should have by now. Yeah, Copper Harbor's cool. Yeah. The UP is alright. There's nothing to do up there. Look at a huge drug problem in the UP. Oh yeah, it'll do it, Mark. Yeah, I've been to East St. Louis a bunch. Yeah, I've been in Northern Virginia, yep. Yeah, fall colors, they're going to get here earlier this year, I think. Yeah, I don't know if they charged that guy. Did they charge that guy in that dead body in Hale or not? Yeah, they did. They did charge him, didn't they? Yeah, where is Daisy? Daisy's back here. Daisy's back there sleeping. South Florida sucks. I got a house in South Florida. Yeah, it's a good time down here. I have fun doing it. No, I'm doing something different. Like I did still photography today, and then I did a little video. Excuse me. Went and ate at a Mexican restaurant. Yeah, it could be, Jeff. No jobs. Yeah, I've been outside the USA. Mainly Mexico, Canada. Oh, Raleigh's nice. Was that you that sent a card to Rebecca? There's somebody from Raleigh. Yeah, college kids. Okay, Justin. Oh, okay, Carla. Oh, thanks, Cameron. Hey, Lynn. I don't know where Becky's at. I ran into Allie last night and I went back to find her and I didn't. I'll find her. I don't know what Rebecca's up to. No, never been to Europe. Nope. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Yeah, I love Ontario. Everywhere in Ontario. Yeah, she gets emotional. Oh, that's fine, Andrea. Oh, thanks, Lynn. Glad you like them. Yeah, I think she's good. That's why I want to go out to South Dakota. I want to change up my game a little bit. I don't want to get too stale. I'm getting a little bored with this. Not a lot, a little. All right, 12 point. Thank you. Excuse me. I'm not. I don't have anything to do, Jay. Oh yeah, I think they're colorful characters. Yeah. Interesting. I think I got a pretty good interview with Lacey last night. Kensington. Yeah, I got to do that. Oh, okay, Andrew. Yeah, I've looked into that. A lot of people say I looked into like podcasts. The more I looked into them, the more it just didn't really interest me. It's more like legit studio sound engineers bullshit. It's just like it just doesn't really interest me. This stuff's all pure fun. None of the bullshit. Probably why I like it so much. Yeah, I got some pretty good graffiti here in Cleveland. Some in St. Louis. But around here, it's pretty much dried up. They'll rack your ass to catch a spray paint anything. Sure looks good, though. Yeah, I haven't really watched. Somebody keeps talking about this Invisible People or something like that. I don't watch that either. Yeah, well, I try to, It's P.O. Box 41, and that's West.